Got you picking your teeth, Rhodesia. You nasty. You had all that time to prepare. The first second of the video, you out there picking your teeth, putting hits on busters.
I still had a full 1 second though.
Whatever. Episode 140. New era of the TFW podcast. That's freaking wrestling. 3 the hard way. The best kept secret in wrestling podcast. 3 the hard way. Thank you, Mr. Knight. You guys know how we get down, man. I'm your host, Matt, joined by these two fine folks, Eshaun and the incredible, the illustrious Rhodesia.
One more time, Mr. Knight.
3 the hard way. There it is. If Mr. Knight is on board, y'all need to get on board. Shout out to everybody who's on board. As a matter of fact, we got a name for our supporters of the pod. I've heard it a couple of times, and I kept just forgetting to bring it up. But after last pod, it works out tremendously well. And that is, you guys are the freaks. That's freaking wrestling. You guys are the freaks. So shout out to the freaks out there that support us each and every week. Even if you don't support us each and every week, if you've supported us one time, if you support us for 140 of them things, we appreciate you and we love you. Eshaun, go ahead.
Kendrick was like a clairvoyant, huh? When you coined the phrase FAN.
You feeling that? Look at you. I was at the gas station earlier, pumping gas, minding my own business. I hear "Not Like Us" blaring from a car. I turn over. This kid had to be 22, 23 years old, feeling it. I looked at him, I pointed at him, I said, "Man, I see you." He was like, "Yeah." He went right. He didn't start doing the old DJ set. He went right into that to like that. I was like, "All right, man." And then he drove off. But shout out to him. And shout out to everybody who is taking this Kendrick song. Drake, you just got to go sit down for a minute, man. You know, I know he's not going to sit down because he's still making music, but you lost this one. And it's okay to lose sometimes. We can't be winners all the time. And I think Drake learned that out the hard way. We never even deep dive that because this is a wrestling podcast, but man, do I have some thoughts around that whole situation. But we not starting there. I said Eshaun because we were talking about freaks and, you know, that is freaking wrestling. So we got to talk some freaking wrestling. And one of the things I did want to talk about, I wanted to ask you guys is Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. In what world is Liv Morgan a heel in this entire situation?
You asked E first, right?
Yes. And then I'll ask you, Rhodesia.
In what world? She's a heel in this world.
How? And this is the honest truth question. If we go back to Rhea had her on the show for 9 months or whatever it was. She got her payback. She sees something she likes, which is Dom. She's going after it. It ain't like Rhea hasn't done it. So the same things that people have cheered Rhea for 2 years, all of a sudden makes Liv the heel. How is that possible?
Hey, Rhodesia, let me ask you a question. Because you about Matt every day, all day, right? Now I love that about you. If an attractive woman was walking up on Matt every day in videos, right? You get videos of this woman that's walking up on Matt every day, trying to seduce him, kissing on him. Would she be a heel to you?
Yeah, I would say she's a heel. That'd be
heel,
one of the
right?
words that I'll call her.
Yeah, right. There'll be something, right? You'll be mad at her, right? She'd be a bad person to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got this woman. I think one of the old school terms is Jezebel, right? She's trying to break up a happy home. She's approaching a man who's already taken, trying to steal a man for somebody. So I don't know in what world that we live in. I know the moral fabric of the United States is breaking down daily, but I don't know in what world where we don't think that that's heel activity. But I guess we can go around, we can take wherever we want, and we can have question marks around it. I guess is what you're gathering.
No, what I'm gathering is you said she's breaking up a happy home. Dominic and Rhea are not together. She's just mommy. We've never seen Dom and Rhea kiss. We've never seen Rhea say, "This is my man." We haven't seen any of that. We ain't seen Rhea about to go down and grab that thing like we did on Monday Night Raw. We ain't seen none of that.
We do. Like they've held hands. They've gone to things together. You know, and they allude to like she giving Dom that thing, and he can't turn back. You know what I'm talking about?
You can hold hands with your mom though, if that's the mommy.
Exactly.
Hey, let me tell you
hold hands
something.
with your sister.
I'm not holding hands with my mom. Not after the age of 10. So I don't know. I don't know.
Would you kiss your mom? You kiss your mom on the cheek?
I don't know what y'all doing out here, man.
Dom ain't never kissed Rhea on the cheek. I just wonder. I see a lot of this whole thing about Liv's a heel and she's breaking up happy homes and all that kind of stuff. I actually saw that on Twitter. Somebody like legit worked themselves into shoot. I was like, man, this is entertainment, guys.
But which one was the happy home? Was it happy home to Rhea or his actual wife?
Hey, I figured it out. Matt is turning into Bobby the Brain Heenan. Like his job on the podcast is to explain why the heels are actually faces, right? And to explain like the evil deeds are actually okay. That's his role. That's his new role. I just figured it out.
And Bobby was always right about Hulk Hogan. He tried to tell us back in the 80s.
What did he say about
He just said, he said that Hogan was always no good. He couldn't trust him. He didn't deserve friends. He was always backstabbing people. And he was saying that at the height of Hulkamania. So, of course, when he turned, when he was in WCW, he's just like, I've been right.
Brother. That was a shoot, brother.
He was talking about Terry. He was talking about Terry. Brother. So, Rhodesia, so then I'm going to ask you that question. Yeah. And I need you to strip away your feelings of what is a face and what is a heel and what they're presenting and only go off of actions. Is Liv Morgan a heel in this situation, in this particular situation?
And what exact situation are we talking about? Her becoming a women's champion? No.
The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour.
Well, because she's calling it the Revenge Tour, yes. I mean, I guess there's a big difference between revenge and avenge. And usually both means to do harm or have ill intent on the opposite person. So yes, she is the heel. But what's the favorite phrase, I think, in one of the Spider-Mans? You live long enough to be a villain. That's just what it is. Every villain has a backstory. Every villain became a villain because of a reason. So she's perfect. About a month ago when she came out and said, y'all booing me for doing all this, but why didn't y'all boo Rhea when she did all this to me? All that is still true. All of that is rooted in fact and truth. Unfortunately, she is trying to break up a happy home. Because we already know, even if Mommy and Dom isn't intimate in that kind of way, we already know that something's not appropriate because your boy Finn keeps coming through like, dude, chill out.
Oh, he's a cock blocker. The biggest cock blocker in the history of the business. I don't know if Finn live for himself or he is truly just trying to keep the Judgment Day together or he's the biggest cock blocker in the history of the business.
He's trying to save that man's life. He's trying to save that man's life.
Finn need to back.
No, hey, he needs he's riding for his boy. He's like, hold up. No, you're not about to do that. Hey, look,
this is like, me and Matt out, right? And some chick rolling up on the kid, right? And then Matt comes like, yo, E, all right, man, look. Katrina watching. E, Katrina watching. Huh? Katrina watching. Huh? Katrina's watching, fam. Get up out of here. Like, right? He's trying to save that man's life. Hey, let me tell you something. As much as Katrina, she's in the kitchen shaking it right now for me. And let me tell you something.
What's she shaking?
What's she shaking? That thing. She's taking that thing. I told her today that thing is thinging today. I told her and I smacked it. And so
he says, I touched it.
Yeah.
Shout to the guy.
I touched that. But let me tell you something. Hey, that frying pan will come off that stove and upside my head real quick if I was letting some shit get down on me like that, like Don was doing. So Fan trying to be a good friend in this. It's a great story of friendship.
So let me ask you guys. So let's take real world. Okay. I love percentages.
Okay.
What is the percentage?
Hey, real quick, Matt. So yes. I'm talking about that thing, and this is dripping things. This is going to be a good night. Let's hear if we get through this podcast.
He already told Rhodesia what it was, so no problem. Look, she ready to end it now. Look at her. She knows what's happening. Let me get back to my question.
Different
Give me
things.
so percentage. What
Okay.
is the percentage of guys that could legit in the same situation? So we're taking this as a shoot. All right. As a shoot in regards to it's mommy and not boyfriend or girlfriend, but mommy's always on top. We know how much Dom is Rhea's little thing and vice versa. How many guys could be in Dom's position, percentage, and turn down Liv Morgan? How many guys would not react and take the bait? What do you think?
On TV or not
No.
on TV?
Talking about real life. If this was a real life situation.
And how old I'm a Libra, so I got to ask you some qualifying questions. How old is this guy?
Everything's the same. Everything's the same. I'm going
Well,
less
everything's
than 15%.
the same. Dom is actually really married, so we got to still talk about that. So you're comparing for mommy and Liv. So we just
Yes.
completely acting like he's not married.
Yep. I'm going 15%.
And mommy was
less
real.
than 15%.
That can withhold, like restrain themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, men in general are I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna alienate our male listeners like that. But yes, y'all have a history of if you can get it, you gonna get it. I'm gonna say probably less than that.
You saying less than 15%? You going
Yep.
10, 5, 4, 3? What are you going?
I'm gonna say in that same exact situation, probably only 10%, unless you just are not attracted at all. And from what we're seeing from Dom, that's
I said
not the
exact
case.
same situation. We talking about Liv Morgan, how she came out with them shorts, and how she was looking on Monday night. How many men could say no?
But I said, I mean,
can't
if
do
you're
that.
not attracted to that, some people may not be attracted to a short blonde woman.
All right. Well, we know Dom is.
Right. He ain't looking like he was trying to push her off, like Finn said, or was it Damien or Finn? Like you ain't trying to push her off.
Stepping back. He just kept stepping back.
So I'm gonna say probably
What you
9%.
going with? Are you going with higher than 15%, or you going lower than 15%?
I'm thinking about that frying pan going upside my head, man. I'm gonna represent the good men in the world. And I'm gonna say we had a good 75%, and I'm in that 75%.
Okay,
If she ever
we
watched,
in this
I'm gonna
pod
say a
right
good
now.
75.
You sitting up here lying. Okay, you capping. See, I know how to use that word now. You capping.
I think
you capping.
I think
you
he
capping.
misheard the question. He's saying 75% of men would do Liv. I think that's what he's saying. So really, he's saying 25% would not.
I think that most men are like me, are wholesome men. You know, that happy home and happy wife, happy life. They keep them shaking in the kitchen. So I'm gonna go off that theory right now because I want to make sure that I'm good. So yeah, we all good, 75%. Just like
see how we're gonna do this. Matt, you asked us a couple weeks ago, are we going to be real and bring it on this show? And he's up here lying through his teeth to try to support y'all males.
About wrestling. Now you ain't about to get no frying pans up daddy's head now. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, quick Google search. I did divorce rates via cheating. Infidelity is another leading cause of divorce, with 60% of couples citing a partner's unfaithfulness as a reason for their union ending. Now we know all 60% is not from the men's side. Okay, but
the truth is, you wouldn't get that. You wouldn't know the true percentage of women because women won't say.
That is true.
Women won't bring it out.
Some conniving, sneaky.
No, they telling
creatures.
Nowadays though. They telling nowadays.
I am interested to see where this goes because I don't know how Dom doesn't fold. He has to. He just
Dom's not married to mommy. So let's be for real. Let's be for real.
Liv said I'm coming for everything.
Yeah, we
coming
at our 30s. And I am not married to you. You are still technically a single person. Go do you. Sow your royal oats. You're gonna hit that girl, you're gonna be right back. Boom. And if it's still there, then it's still there. Now, if you're married, then that's completely out of line. But no, if you're just dating, you're not married, why not?
You hear that, Dom? Go
Experiences.
Get it. Go get it.
You have my approval, Dom.
Tell us about it.
Because we want them to be the freaks too.
I had tweeted out, it was a lot to like on Raw. I'll throw it to you guys on what you want to talk about, because it was a lot, from in-ring work to promo work to production. Raw it kind of checked every single box. What stood out to you guys from Raw that you guys want to talk about?
Actually, don't remember right now. That was only one extra day. I might have to pass the E for a second.
I got a couple things, man. I was taking a couple quick notes because, as you said, I really enjoy Raw, and I really love that the 3-hour format doesn't seem like a 3-hour format. Now I did watch on Tuesday, so I fast forward through some of the matches. I was trying to make sure I got through majority of the content. I wanted to get to NXT, and that's a lot of wrestling try to squeeze into one night. But I watched majority of the show, and it didn't seem like it was a 3-hour show. I like what they're doing. I like the storytelling because there's multiple stories being told on Raw, right? So for week to week, anybody can pick a couple of different stories, I will believe, and be intrigued into it. So number one, I want to talk about this like a little small thing real quick. Like you got Sheamus and Kaiser. Now, I respect Sheamus and his career, but Sheamus is the New Day for me. Like I know what I'm gonna get from
New
him.
Day.
I know what I'm gonna get from him. I'm not interested in seeing him win any championships. I'm not rooting for him. I'm not rooting against him either. He's just there. But I know he's a solid guy. And Kaiser, I know he's on, like, he looks good. He can talk. He's on the uptick. But I like when they follow Sheamus out from the back onto the audience, right? And they've been doing that quite a bit. And out comes Kaiser with the one shot, like the walking out. They've been doing that for a while, right? And then you got Kaiser come out with a sneak attack. So now it all kind of makes sense, right? That he did that because now you see from the behind, you see Kaiser coming from behind with that cheap shot, which kind of set the tone for the match. I like that. I don't remember seeing those things happen, or at least very often, right? I think that's a new thing. I love that they're trying different things on that show because if you watch like any of the wrestling shows, like right, AEW, TNA, they're not doing like stuff like that. And I thought that was really, really cool. Really good match.
I think that was my favorite one shot. Well,
really,
it was my favorite one shot until later on in the night when they did the one shot when the women's match that came back from commercial break.
Oh yeah,
and I think it was legit 3 minutes. It was one shot, and you just saw the cameraman move from side of the ring to the side of the ring. But that Sheamus shot, and the reason why it was my favorite is we've never seen Sheamus entrance from behind. Like we always see the lights go out, we hear the boom, and then he comes back with the lights on him. But we've never seen him like get ready. And I thought that was fantastic.
Cool from the back.
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah. Whoa.
Hey, the
freak. This freak thing.
It's
hey,
freaks.
I like it though. I like it, man.
I said pause. That excuses anything I said.
You freaking. Yeah, I love that. and like that match, I know you said like Sheamus is like your New Day, like how I feel about like the New Day. But it was at a point in that match where I had to check and see how much time they were going because it felt like the match was super long and not it was dragging. But then I was like, man, did Triple H just tell them, hey, just go out there and just beat the living hell out of each other, and whoever wins wins. I don't care. Like you guys go figure it out. That match had that kind of feel to it, of like they were just hitting each other as hard as they could, and whoever comes out on top comes out on top. And I love that when you have that type of match, and then you get the other kind of things that we got on the show, which was completely different than that. I just thought it was really, really cool.
What you think about it? Did you watch that, Rhodesia?
Not really.
She don't know what we talking about. She don't know what we talking about.
I saw. I did see the them coming out following Sheamus from behind. When we talk about the one segment, the one shot, and the only reason why I do want to touch on this one is because I didn't notice it at first. Matt had a call it back. He said, hey, did you just see, are you seeing what they're doing right now in this one shot? And in a women's match, in a tag match, as you see them walking, it almost is like they came from commercial break. So it was the second segment of the actual match. So they come back and they're in this one shot. And I thought it looked weird, but again, in my mind, no, it's normal. He's like, no, look again. He rewinded it for me. And it was just such a cool and unique look because you see him from where before we're used to the bottom of our screen was the mat, where now you actually kind of see the apron too. Like, again, it is him walking throughout the entire scene. And I was seeing certain moves that Bianca would do that I just never seen before from that vantage point. And I think actually earlier in that match, they might even had a drone shot over the head too. But like that to me is just like, I've been watching wrestling for 20 plus years, and to be able to see it like that, it reminds me like if I was at an indie show and I'm sitting, close up to the ring and you can see kind of that vantage point. I think that brings a whole new element to just like how being able to see people in Gorilla backstage, it just gives you like, wow, even more of a connection. And it's daring. Like again, there's certain things when it comes to production that you have a formula. If you have a great formula, why would you try to change it? But we've seen with Triple H that he doesn't mind taking chances. And that to me, and this again, just production, has nothing to do with the match itself. It gave me a new look and light to the actual match itself, because wow, that's how that looks from there. I've been seeing if Bianca do these moves for the last 7 years this way, but now I'm actually looking down here, and now you can actually see some struggle, how tall they are, how short they are, like just all of those nuances that it is in a match that you would not normally see in that angle.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it was and I think when I was watching this show overall, I like the in-between stuff, like for instance, like we had Jey Uso came out.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Is his intentions for the summer.
Let's talk
Right?
about it.
But right before right after that, right before we get into the Jey, I like that Lyra, like during her interview segment, she mentioned like, hey, I'm gonna piggyback on what Jey said. Like, I'm going for the, I like this, just like, hey, this is like a continuation.
It's like they watch. They know what's happening. Like, that was KO's gimmick for the longest. Like, he's the only one who watches the show. And now you see that where like they know what the segment was beforehand. And they speak to it. And like, that's the kind of stuff where, if we wanted to stick to the whole WWE universe that we all hated, that tagline, it now feels like a universe, right? How many times do we see something in the background?
Yep.
Right.
That's moving. That it's like, oh, okay, there's an Easter egg. There's something with that. Oh, there's Finn and Liv getting together in the back of that car, and then not in the back of the car, but
right
in the back shot of that car, getting out of it. Oh, there's Diamond with whoever. Like, we see a lot of that. So let's talk about Jey. Let's talk about Jey, and shout out to whoever works at WWE that checks out the TFW podcast. Shout out to y'all. Keep listening. We appreciate you. You don't even have to tell us who you are. Okay, but I do appreciate you, and spread the word.
Get us a job, though.
We always say, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a friend, tell your boss. Okay, because on this podcast, we have been banging the drum surrounding, hey, Jey Uso, we get it. The Yeet thing is over. He was #1 in sales again, I think, for t-shirts last week. Upon male superstars, he's getting his money. He's a hot commodity on Monday Night Raw, but damn, is it like, okay, you're eating a little too much for us, because we know what you can do when you tap into who Jey Uso really is and that what he brings. And boy, did they find a perfect synergy to give us the Yeet, but then also at the same time give us some of that personal connection of who he is. And boy, was that crowd there. Yes, that crowd was there for him, and it worked. Give me that. I'm good. We can yeet all day, but if I can get some of that, clap it up. And I love that he came out and he was the first person to say, look, I think Money in the Bank would be pretty sweet. I loved that segment, and it was great because he did in the crowd too, like legit people's champion. He had that crowd rocking.
Yeah.
And rocking.
Couple takeaways I got from that was the little boy who was just enamored with him, and it's just like, wow, you just made that little boy's life, in such a good way. That, and like you said, you could tell at the end of his promo he picked it back up to his Yeeting Jey self, but you felt that bloodline passion. When I mean bloodline, not like Roman, but their bloodline passion in the beginning of that promo. Because he didn't say anything different than he normally would have said. It just sounds different. His cadence is different. The way he presents is different. And then that's, I'm like, yep, they definitely listened to the show, because this is exactly what we were saying. So that gave me a fix. You can go ahead and give me another month of just you eating. But then when you come and win Money in the Bank, then you got to go back to the passionate Jey.
It's all good. I mean, like I said, I think that obviously Jey's what they're doing with Jey is working, right? Because he got them crowds rocking, right? And like the wave, the crowd interest, you see everything that they're doing is working for him. I think it's phenomenal. I hope he wins the Money in the Bank this year. I mean, he got to win something, goddammit. You can't, like, he is too hot of a commodity right now to keep losing these big matches, like, right? Or I mean, they can keep it going some degree. Maybe that can become a story, like hey, I've been losing, but I'm on my way back, and here's my journey to X. Like maybe that might be the IC title at some point. If let's say if Chad Gable gets the championship and he can go from the bottom to fight up, because this is wrestling, right? The challenger chasing is always very, very interesting, right? So I guess they could tell a story at some point if he doesn't win Money in the Bank. And Money in the Bank typically is reserved for heels, right? But we could, and I don't know where they can go where he carries the Money in the Bank. Could it be called Money in the Yeet case? Right, he gets the Money in the Yeet case.
No, I like that. Yeah,
you need to trademark that right now.
Yeah,
Hey,
TM
you heard it first on TFW. The Money in the Yeet case.
Money in the Yeet case, right? You got the Yeet on the briefcase. You know that's gonna happen, right?
You got a Yeet on the briefcase.
Yeeting and Bank.
It's like
he was yeeting all over that briefcase.
Who would he challenge? Like who would he challenge? Like who would he challenge? It'd be interesting. But let me tell you though, this is just popping in my mind right now. I think the tea is starting to work. It keeps dripping on me. I love that. Like I feel like this is gonna be a good night. Like I got something wet on me right now. And I hope I get something wet on me after the podcast. I think we good to go.
We got that thing, man.
So I'm thinking about, all right, so
we can do that now.
Can you imagine, right? Because
we not cock blockers.
Because we got,
look, we are not fan. If you need to go, man, we can hold it down for like another hour or so and just come back. Hey, whenever you know, how about that? Hey. How about we do that? How about you leave now, take care of your business, and come back? And let's see how long it takes you to take care of your business.
The kids still up. The kids still up, and they going crazy too. And freaks, like this is real talk. This ain't them, like they be all about this, man. Like, hey, you getting something like it's on the texture, like this. They all about making sure everybody is satisfied.
Talk about the texture.
They want everybody fulfilled and satisfied. But I'm just thinking about it. So like, wouldn't it be cool, right, on one of these big shows? I don't know if it's even at a Mania, right? Because you got Cody. I would imagine Cody would still be champion come WrestleMania. Biggest faces.
Yes.
Actually, that might be something we need to talk about maybe later on the show or another show, is that he's getting up there with one of the better babyface drawing champions they've had in quite some time, right? Close to Cena. He's getting up there. But at a WrestleMania, Jey winning the championship, and you got a face Roman Reigns coming out there, giving them love. You got Jimmy coming out there. Can you see like what an awesome like moment that would be, seeing the rest of the family embracing him as the number one guy? I thought that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know when it can happen, but I can see it happen.
Man, I had so many thoughts after watching that promo, because I'm like, okay, they're leaning into where Jey should be. Jey should be in that Money in the Bank. And yeah, we're going to have Punk. We're going to have Drew. We're going to have Gunther. You're going to have those big pieces still there. But I thought about, okay, do you have Jey win the Raw title? That's one option. Do you have Jey challenge, and then the Bloodline cost him the match to further the Bloodline story? The other thing I thought was, yes. Okay. The other thing I thought was, what if Roman Reigns makes the save for Jey Uso first time we see him back? Say, whatever, there's shenanigans or whatnot, he comes back and helps Jey win that title. You talk about letting bygones be bygones, all the shit and all the things he had put Jey Uso through in those 4 years. And if he can come back and help Jey win that title, boy, do it, Rhodesia. Right in the veins.
Give me that one. I like that one.
Yep.
I like that one.
I thought about a lot of that.
Yep, I like that one.
Just the setup of her going and rolling.
Oh, man. You know what it is. It gets better and better.
Cut my blood circulation off because it's so tight right here. I was like, dang. Man, I'm ashy. My bad, y'all.
Speaking of Roman, I got a new guy in WWE.
A new guy?
I have a new guy.
Okay.
Until Roman comes back.
Okay.
Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker.
I knew he was going to say that one.
Man, boy, oh boy.
Yep, I knew he was going to say that.
And just think, I was a little worried about Bron when he was in NXT. I was like, okay, he's one-dimensional right now. But I took that more of like, we just got to get him out in NXT. And then when he got with Baron Corbin, I'm like, okay, there's the character.
Yep,
now he's showing range. We're kind of cool. Man, he is superseding expectations for me anyway of what he's doing. the match he had a Ricochet, just his confidence is there. And when they popped him up on that screen and that pop, and that crowd was there all night. Shout out to them. I think they were in Hershey, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
They got one. They got one. Now they just slow and steady, continue doing what you're doing with them. But he is, man, I think he's a big deal. He's a big deal, and I'm happy I'm happy.
Show's coming back to me now more and more. When he went on to do a Hurricanrana on a top rope.
Flexed
Ain't no Hurricanrana.
That's a Frankensteiner.
What is called a Frankensteiner?
He's a Steiner. That's a
Jump up to
Frankensteiner.
the Frankensteiner.
Ain't no Hurricanrana.
They're original freaks, right?
You know that,
man, like that's sick. This is like, this is, you know how many times you say, like, you know, with the chops from all the big guys, your Sheamus, your Gunther, even Drew. But you talking about somebody like a Bron Breakker, like, no, you're not doing that to me. You too big to be doing that to me. And hitting it and confidently jumping up there, Frankensteiner him. That's sick.
Yeah, I especially enjoy the story they're telling with him too, with Adam Pearce. You know, it kind of shows like his defiant, you know, attitude, and, you know, shows him being kind of a bully. I like what they're doing with that story. I like Adam's in searching. I don't think we're definitely going to get a match. I think it's like he's there just to kind of be kind of like a what's the thing I want to say? He's like I don't think he's going to be involved, but he's just there as a, you know, just as the guy, like the good guys being bullied on, like, right? Like, he's kind of out of control, right? I think somebody else is going to be the guy that's going to be the Avenger. I like what they're doing with Dragon, right? Because I think they're kind of
which Dragon? Because there's a Dragon
Dragons on the show
of the LWO that I'm so over. But I digress.
Hey,
sorry.
You know what? Like, hey, I said what I want to say about Bron. I think it's good. I need the LWO to go away.
Thank you.
I need them to go away, man. Like, who is like they are like the worst.
Thought about Bron. Hold on a second. Hold on, stop. The hate in this man's heart.
Yeah,
he stopped mid sentence talking about Bron Breakker, Adam Pearce. He was going somewhere too. He was really stuck on the word he was saying.
My bad.
And as soon as he brought up Dragon Lee,
that's real talk. Yes,
he was like, yeah. Bron Breakker's great, but this.
Wow. This motherfucker
I had this on my docket last week and I forgot to mention it. I need these dudes to go away, man. I know they weren't a big fixture. I need them to go away. They are the worst. And partly because, like, look, them dudes are some jobbers, man. Off my TV with them. Off my TV. Because ultimately, they're holding my girl Selena hostage. I need her back on SmackDown with Andrade ASAP. What we doing, man? Unless you don't want to work with this man no more, unless her and Andrade and fell out or something like that, and they don't want to work together anymore, like, there's no reason for them to be apart right now. It is no reason to keep her in this LWO faction that is going nowhere. Like, the tag team ain't going nowhere. Hey, Dragon Lee can do his thing on his own. Ray is who he is. Ray is what y'all say about the New Day. Like, Ray is there to take the pin.
I'll give you that for Ray too. Yep, I'll give you that for Ray.
To take the pin from nobody. He's not going to win the big matches.
Ray is the same character. He's been the same character. He's not going to. I thought he'd been retired by now. And not in a disrespectful way, though. But
and that's okay because the audience likes him. Like, Ray, they want to cheer him. But we know what it is with Ray. Ray there to get that 3-second tan. Let's get Selena back in the role. And I think her and Liv was beefing online. You know, I think they're trying to maybe do something. Like, Selena, you're gonna lose that. We know you're gonna lose that. The story I don't want to see that. Okay, I don't want to see y'all on Twitter, you know, barking at each other for a whole week just for you to lose in 5 minutes. I don't want to see that. Get her on SmackDown with Andrade, because that man needs a mouthpiece, man. Because, like, look, you know, and it's funny. I'm jumping all over the place with this guy. I had all these notes here, but I never went to any of them.
LWO would just F you up. I'm telling you.
Oh, man. Terrible.
I do. Real quick before you go to your next thought, because who knows what you about to go into. I do wonder what happened with the LWO. Because you would think they had a plan when they brought the LWO back and they were selling shirts like hotcakes. It was a big thing, and then it just stopped. I don't know if it was an injury. I don't know if it was a storyline. that they had to pivot from. But you would think with how big they always want to keep and have their Mexican stars and really lean into that demographic, they should be a bigger deal than what they are. And to your point, typically at this point now, when we see the LWO, they're losing or they're winning to set up a loss like next week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really surprising to me.
And what bothers me so much about LWO is individually, they are all great. But right now, y'all being together just sucks. Just like kind of like Judgment Day. But the difference with Judgment Day was that we had so much connection, so much engagement into this whole storyline of the Judgment Day that, again, they're afforded some luxuries. But it's getting really, really close to where I'm about to start saying forget Judgment Day too. Again, now with the whole sprinkling Liv into the dynamic, it's kind of revamping that back up. But for a moment, we were like, okay, Judgment Day, it's the same old, same old. You got Damien running it as a champion, but he doesn't really feel like he's actually a champion of even Judgment Day, yet alone of WWE RAW. So for me,
he got to drop the title.
I mean,
Get it off.
so LWO, with all due respect, the most respect I can give, because you guys are amazing. Y'all need a breakup. Go away for about a month or two, and like you said, introduce these people one by one again. Bring Zelina in with Andrade, and they can go back to doing what was a moneymaker for them. And then slowly bring in back in Dragon Lee, if Ray, however long Ray is there for. And then Carlito, dude, you remember Matt, when you asked this question weeks ago about JR and his legacy?
Yeah.
That should be like a new topic like that we do. Like the Carlito,
who's tarnishing their legacy week by week?
Carlito, no. Because it's not even like a funny jobbing situation. Like you're starting to get on my nerves when I see you on TV, Carlito.
But he's trying to get down on the Judgment Day, though.
Yeah, he's
trying to get down on the
That works. That works.
He ain't been the same since he gave himself that bunk back. Since he gave himself that back bump on that, he ain't been the same since.
On the monitor, his spinal.
He's not been the same since.
I just feel like he's living a lot like reliving JD Madonna. I can't get his name.
Oh, you got it.
McDonough.
You got it.
That he's replaying that exact role just a year later. And to me, that's when I'm like, okay, Carlito is way too good to be playing that same role. And we know JD's killing it. But for me, it's like, you are tarnishing your legacy, Carlito.
He's
still a big dude, though. He's still a big dude. He's still a big dude.
Yeah, he can't get up from the drop kicks no more like he used to. I think I'm fine with what he's doing. I think he's entertaining enough in that thing. But look, this LWO, like you said, they're all amazing. I mean, Ray is Ray. Dragon Lee is going to be really good. That tag team, they need something. I mean, I don't know. Like, they was cool with Santos. Without Santos, they did some guys, man. Let's just keep it real. Break that up. Get because Andrade. I was thinking about Andrade. Like, he looks like he should be a star, and and he can go. But man, I don't know if it's how thick his accent is, but he just can't get on the microphone enough to get himself over enough. And I think that's a big part, is that you have to be able to articulate yourself on the microphone in WWE in order to really get over it. That's where Selena stepped in, because she really did a great job advocating for him. And he did he looked the part, he played the part, and he was great in the ring. They need to put that back together, because right now, to be honest with you, I think Santos does what Andrade does, but way better.
Yes.
Like, right, they're the same type of heel, like, right? But Santos is articulate. Like, he can go in the ring, he can talk and advocate for himself. Like, I don't think you keep those dudes on the same brand. I would rather them do a trade. Some kind of trade, like, right? I know we got something going on with AJ or something like that. Let's just do a trade. Let's get Andrade on a Raw. Let's have Selena go ahead and follow, like, whatever's happening, because everybody turns on Ray. Let Selena turn on her too.
But you can't do that though, man, because you got to keep Andrade on SmackDown, because Charlotte's gonna be on SmackDown to add Nia Jax, and we know they keep couples together.
Get her off. If Becky gonna be gone, right? This is another pivot too. Now that Becky's gone, right? Isn't that what they said in that promo with Lyra? Like,
which part?
Where Becky at?
Yeah, and she brought it up, so that tells you, like, she'll be back in WWE. Because when she actually asked about Becky, I was like, oh, okay, well, got it. Which that was all the reports. She wasn't going anywhere else.
I think that's a good. I think that would be a good trade. Charlotte for Becky.
But then you know what I mean. So then you would also have to trade Andrade because I do want couples to stay together.
I need Selena. I need Selena and Andrade on Raw, and I need Andrade away from Santos. I think they're too similar of a character.
So you said trade Becky for hurry up. Okay.
Yep.
But then
so put Charlotte and Andrade over there.
So then we're gonna get the volume 2 of Charlotte and Nia Jax, and this time hopefully they can actually wrestle properly with each other.
There's only room
Charlotte,
for one
Charlotte will
queen.
be on Raw, right? Because Nia Jax is on SmackDown.
She's on SmackDown. Yep. Dang.
Here's the thing: we've spent more time trying to book LWO properly than WWE has. Let's move on.
Stop. Touche. Let's keep it moving.
I have a question. Unless y'all got something else more for Raw. I got 2 things off NXT.
Yeah, a couple things off NXT and a couple things in
and it's
AEW.
more just my things for NXT is personal questions. I'm not going to ask one thing about actually the show. I want to start with Rhodesia.
Okay.
Rhodesia, yesterday was the first day where we had a chance to watch NXT live in at least a year because we went to 2 shows a week. We started recording on Tuesday night. So if we watched NXT, it was either just the PLEs or we were always watching it late. And a lot of times we had already heard what happened, but we're still watching it because it's a good show and consuming it, et cetera, et cetera. So yesterday was the first time you personally have watched NXT live without any spoilers in I don't know how long. That may have been your first NXT you watched of like 2.0.
Probably.
Live with no spoilers. Tell me your thoughts and your feelings on watching NXT in direct comparison to you watching Dynamite live on Wednesdays.
This is such an ironic question that you ask. And you probably know what I was going to mention and bring up. Hence probably why you planted it this way. And good job. Such a great host doing it that way. To answer that direct question, I thought that they were similar in the respects of that final sequence between All Ego. I think they ended the show. All Ego and Trick Williams. And All Ego, we know where he just came from. I hated that. I absolutely hated it. I felt like first off, I thought the signing of All Ego went a little bit too long. It was cool up front. Then at one moment, he just started rambling. And then what I said to Matt was, oh my God, this kind of sounds like Dynamite. And I was like, oh, but considering who's in the ring, here we go. So to address that initial question, I think that by comparison, it ended the exact same way. I still left the show like, dang, like that felt a little awkward. Now, the rest of the show, that's completely different. Overall, I got nothing new out of watching NXT live than what I've been witnessing over the last several months for the times I've been able to go back to watch it. I think overall, it's something that's going to keep me entertained for the full 2 hours. But that I believe, wasn't it the final segment, the signing of All Ego? Yeah. That to me just like, it ended the show to me like,
So you sat there and watched an incredibly fun show, and all you could say is shit on.
You said
Ego's
asked.
promo.
Think about how you asked that question.
I just asked
how
you,
at the end of watching the show, how does it compare to Dynamite? And I said that was a very ironic question that you asked me because how it ended, this is how I feel. So maybe you can say just by comparison of show to show, how do you feel? But you said at the end of it. So I'm just taking you literally at your question. But overall, like I said, there's no surprise to NXT. I know what they have over there. I know it's a fun show that you were going to watch it and the time is going to fly by quickly.
Okay.
Question for you, Roger. Do you think, would you watch NXT without being, well, I don't say prompted, but do you think so if you weren't married to Matt, right, and you're your own woman and your own type of fan, do you think that you would watch NXT?
Yes.
When you say watch it, you're talking about weekly, right? Like appointment.
Yeah, I'm talking about weekly. I'm talking about would you weekly follow the show?
Yes. The only reason why I haven't weekly followed the show is because when we recorded for the last year and a half. But if something big came out, of course, because I talked to Matt a lot too, and then with Twitter. But yeah, absolutely I would. I think I even came on here and said that I put it SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite.
Hell no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I don't think you did. I think
did.
You had Dynamite.
I said SmackDown. No, I said SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite. Pull the records. I think that was episode 138 is the order that I put in on 137.
Pull
the receipt.
The hell you think this is?
Reason why I say that, because you know, like one of the cool things about doing this show
I might say
is
NXT
that
first.
we get to learn. Like I think one of the cool things about our show is that we're all different types of fans in our own ways. I think like Matt and I are like, I think we're like fanatic fans. I think Matt's a little bit higher than me, but I think at the heart, I think Rhodesia, you're more of a non-fanatic type of fan. Like for what I'm talking about is like Matt and I breathe like wrestling. Like, right, we're gonna seek it out, we're gonna find it, right? And then we want to know more about it, right? So we're always online and you know, we're on the deep dirt sheets. Like that's never really been your thing, like whatever, right? But I know that, you know, with living with a fanatic like Matt, like you get exposed to probably a lot of wrestling. But I think a lot of non-fanatic fans, like they're gonna watch Raw because life be lifing, right? And there's a lot of content, there's a lot of wrestling on, like, right? And I think most fans pick and choose what they watch. Like, right, look, I ain't gonna sit there and spend, you know, 2 hours almost every day watching all this wrestling. So they're gonna pick their spots. And so I just wonder, like, if we weren't meant such a fanatic fan, like, you know, I feel like you will pick your spots more, like, right, like I'm gonna watch 3 hours of Raw. I might not got 2 hours of NXT. Maybe I'll watch 2 hours of Dynamite, but I might not be able to get SmackDown this week. Now, I think that's what a lot of people do, and they follow however they can follow, right? Maybe online. If they can get online, they'll follow like a couple of like YouTube clips or something like that. But do you think that you would watch as much wrestling as you do?
Absolutely.
Being married to that fanatic man?
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to being on Twitter and finding out that information, absolutely not. Dirt sheets, no. I'm not about to waste my time on that because I also love the production. So then, hey, this is what you have writers to produce a show for me. I'm going to be the consumer of that show. I like not being spoiled by some things. So that's why I don't even like to see spoilers. But as far as watching it, absolutely. Before I met Matt, I watched as much wrestling as I could.
But
now, of course, life been life.
This much wrestling went out back then, though.
Yeah,
that is true.
You had SmackDown,
that is true.
and that was it. And
if
you had cable, you had Raw.
Yep.
That was about it.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, back then, yeah, we had. I mean, you had Thunder, you had Nitro,
yeah.
You had SmackDown.
Raw and SmackDown.
And back in the early 90s, we only had one show from each, right? We got to start getting those SmackDown and Thunder.
Yeah.
Thunders, that was like late in the run, like, right?
But also, just like even now, as far as what I watch, I'm usually consuming some type of wrestling every single day. Now, part of it is because we do the podcast, but even before that, out of a 7-day week, I'm watching or consuming 4 to 5 days of professional wrestling.
Is it because you're next to that fanatic over there?
On certain shows, sure, but a lot of things we do. So, I mean, we don't even watch regular movies without each other. We don't really watch a lot of TV without each other. So that's kind of hard to pull that back. As far as if I wasn't next to him, that's kind of a question I wouldn't be able to answer. But overall, like I remember you made a comment a year ago that wrestling could be like a chore. And to me, it's never been a chore. It's something I love to do. And it's something that not to do like wrestling, but to watch wrestling and consume it. It's something that I find pleasure in it. So I like Dynamite. Matt don't like Dynamite.
No, that's not fair. Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that. I do like after we record, I'm going to watch Dynamite. It's just not appointment viewing. Like I am not going to not do our podcast on a Wednesday because, Dynamite's on. Or I'm not going to say, let me watch Dynamite at 7:00 Central. No, I'll watch when we're done. And then I can see something that I don't like and just fast forward through and don't have to worry about sitting there and in my mind bitching and moaning about, why didn't this person go over? Or why the hell did they do that spot in this match? That kind of thing. But I still like Dynamite. I just like NXT better. Watching NXT last night for me, I was like, and I think I tweeted it. I think NXT is the most culturally present wrestling show ever. You watch NXT and you can get a pulse of what's really happening in the real world by watching that show. That's not a thing in wrestling. Typically, like pop culture for wrestling would be like WWE back in the day would be Bob Barker. It's like, okay, nobody under like the age of 50 watches Bob Barker, right? Like there's just so much they do on NXT and it's like, yes, that is it. I forgot my man's name. Damn. And I love him. I think his name is, I know his last name is Evans. He hit an incredible cutter last night. And before that, he was whoop my man's ass to the ring, he's clapping while he's whooping his ass. That is culturally important and factual to what we do as Black people, right? And like, it's not even just, you know, the hip hop part of it. It's anything. It's all of it. And I think is when you watch it, it is the most fun, just wrestling show. You want to talk about, hey, can I just turn my brain off? NXT is the show for you. You just want to say, look, I just want to watch some entertaining stuff. Not even you say wrestling. I just want to watch some entertaining stuff. Tuesdays at 8 o'clock.
And
Eastern
I
time
think
on
it's
USA.
because how beautiful they are. You look at, and there's been a lot of talk about it just in the last week with Shawn Michaels and who he cast, right? And who he's looking at on the internet. They are beautiful. It's a true thing. When it's what's it called? Eye porn or whatever they call it. Like when you look at somebody, eye candy, there you go. When you look at that, you're like, everybody, and they're all different shapes, sizes, colors, all of that, and they're all beautiful. So it's easy to watch because of one, that right there alone. And now you got some extra colors on it. I remember when 2.0 first came out and I was like, man, what is this Skittles and rainbow type bullshit that we're watching right now? Look how much that has changed and how much that have grown to being with the full potential of what that, I guess, envision was. And I guess that was Dirty Vince's idea, but realized by somebody else.
That was my second question. That was, or my second comment, however you want to say, but it is a question.
Mm-hmm.
What level of horny are you allowed to have while watching wrestling? This is an honest to God question. Honest to God question.
I think it might be different. And I'm talking in generalities here because we know that there's always exceptions to the rules. I think men are just going to be a little bit more hornier because they're just a little bit more physical, where women are a little bit more mental when it comes to that kind of stuff. I joke all the time about Will Ospreay and his gray sweatpants. It's a joke, but I do like him in his gray sweatpants, but I'm not really checking for his penis size and be busting through his sweatpants. I think for guys, y'all able to see these girls with their booty cheeks hanging out and jiggling and all that stuff. It's sexual, and they make it look sexual. So to answer your question, how many or how acceptable it is for you to...
What level of horny are we allowed to have while watching wrestling? Yeah, what level?
I will put that into two parts. This is either one, before they actually having a wrestling match, you could be 90 out of 100% horny.
Okay.
But if they're actually wrestling, come on, y'all, stop. They're actually wrestling and Jada Parker flips into the ring because she gets taken out. Come on, y'all, stop. So get over yourself. Why? Stop salivating. Stop salivating. Now, if she's standing on the apron and she's bouncing up down waiting for the hot tag, I give you all of that. But she falls in and she's wrestling. Come on, now this is art. We're at work. We getting down to business. You can't be horny no more at that point.
They working for sure.
You can't be horny if I'm putting you in a headlock. You just can't.
I'm gonna let Rhodesia answer that question, and for me as well. I'm gonna stay away from that one.
He's hard right now.
Well, I mean, I guess the thing is, like, he just a few minutes ago brought up text messages on you, Rhodesia. He tried to like dime you out about text messages.
All y'all do is dime me out.
But this man sends horny text messages, as I do. And now I'm asking him in front of all of our freaks, our supporters of the pod, what level of horny are you allowed to have? And this is a true question. When I say what level of horny, I mean, what can you say that if you're watching wrestling, that does not make you a creep, that does not make you, you got to stay 50 feet away from these women? I just want to know what level that is. Is that just a, damn, she's pretty? Is that the level of horny you can say out loud? Is it, man, look at that body? Is it that? Is it way more than that? That's all I was just asking. I just wondered. That's all. But if we want to just like,
I'm not going to snitch over here.
Our guy Brandon on Twitter said, you can't dictate horniness.
He's welcome to the free club. Thank you. There you go. You can come on in. But if you're doing a move and I'm Irish whipping you, you can't say, oh, you can't do that. That's a little borderline right there.
That's a little much.
That's a little much. You can't do it. If I'm getting Irish whipped,
that's not horniness.
I'm getting chopped and my titties bounce just because I got chopped. That's not freaky. Stop. That hurts.
You can say woo, right? Maybe twice.
Yeah.
Woo.
You know, a discussion to be had. You know, I actually was talking to somebody, a non-wrestling fan, about just wrestling and doing women's wrestling in general. I was saying it's really getting really good. But in a lot of ways, I was just talking about. So this ain't the question we can really have. That's why I'm like, I feel uncomfortable having the discussion because it's interesting with our culture, right? Is that our culture, we're really starting to sexualize like women on TV, and then our women on women's wrestling is because you look at the women wrestling compared to how women dress compared to like 15 years ago, like girls are actively cutting their shorts to where the cheeks are hanging out, right? They're not just falling out, right? They're actively out, right? You can tell like that's the way the shorts are made to expose the cheekage, right? And now they're also starting to wear like the leg harnesses right underneath, like where the cheek is, to get a little extra push out, like, right? So it's on display for a reason, right? So at the same time, it's like, okay, I can look, but I can't, you can't know I'm looking. You're like, right. I can't really comment, but it's there. Like, right. They're asking a lot of men to have a lot of self-control. And that's not really the reality of the situation is whatever. Right. And then you see women online like, hey, stop talking about my body. But the cheeks is jiggling all throughout the ring. It's like it. I'm uncomfortable because like, look, I know what it is. I feel like it's a double standard with that. But I also feel like some people go too far the other way, right? So it's almost, to me, this is what I've always felt about with women, like, right? They gotta tell you it's okay, like, right? So, like, right? So if a pretty girl walk by, I'm going to be very discreet. I'm gonna see what I need to see, like, right? And I keep it at that, right? I'm not gonna make it obvious. So if she right in front of my face, I'm not gonna oogle her. I'm not gonna do none of that, right? But when she walks away, I might take another peek. And if I see her turn her head back the other way, my head goes the other way. And I start doing something else. Like, right?
That might be creepish though too.
Right. Or you see sometimes, right, you'll do that, you'll look the other way and then they'll look back the other way and then they'll give you like a little smile, like, okay, yeah, okay, you can look. But see, even then I'm not giving you the eye contact. I'm not gonna let you smile, and I'm not going. It's a very weird dynamic, which is why I'm uncomfortable talking about it. Which is why I'm glad I'm a married man.
I get it, man. You just talked in circles over 2 minutes. I appreciate that. Was, if you were playing football, that may have been the best juke move I've seen all year. That was the best juke move I've ever seen because he just talked for like 2 minutes and didn't say one thing.
Like that?
All he said was, "It's a respect thing." We know it's a respect thing, but I do wonder. Because I do think it is. I think when it comes to, I think it's a double standard. I think what a female wrestling fan can say about men can be completely higher than what a male wrestling fan can say about a female.
Disagree. 100% disagree. I feel like women in general, again talking in generalities, we don't even obsess over the men anymore. They've been in their bikini pants bottoms for the last 25, 30, 40 years of wrestling. So we've been seeing this. So we're even more numb to that. So there's people not, when we talk about like the sexiness.
Hold on a second, Rhodesia, because think about Roman Reigns.
Yep.
You haven't had somebody for the majority of women who enjoy the way Roman Reigns looks. Like, nobody was Googling over John Cena.
But they were Googling over Randy Orton.
They Google over Orton. They Google over Roman.
Mm-hmm. Orton is in his bikini bottoms.
Right, kind of. I think it's more of the physical attraction. I don't think it's just that they're in their underwear. Because if that's the case, like, back in the day, the women we had before, like, the Attitude Era. Like, you had Fabulous Moolah. No, yeah, maybe they were Googling over her. We're not Googling over Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young. We're not looking at her like that. But now you take NXT. The majority of those women would have you stop what you're doing and stare if they came into the room you're in.
I think you're making my point. I think you're making my point because you're saying that we, as the double standard, right? Or maybe we're on different wavelengths. It sounds like you're saying that women can get away with more objectifying men than men can get away with objectifying women. And okay, good. Yes. So we're on the same page. And I'm saying to you that's incorrect. in general, women don't objectify men like y'all do, but it's designed that way. That's just how the internet
But
works.
men, we're physical creatures, though, right? Like,
That's
you know,
I said that 20 minutes ago.
I need to I need to see and feel it, right? A women might be more of a emotional security thing.
It's more a mental
you know?
thing.
Yeah,
in generalities.
it's more of that, right? Like, yeah, it's they sometimes they get in love with how you make them feel, you know what I'm saying? Whereas a man, like, look, you know, I want something sweet tonight.
And that's why I think men objectify women. Hell, I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus, but we could just look at the group messages that I'm involved in and how many times the males in the group objectify women versus me.
I don't know.
Not fair.
Not fair.
How is that not fair?
I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not part of the group message.
Hey, look, you know why?
Know that.
Why? How?
You know, that's what kind of group message would that be if you send a pic about Roman Reigns talking about some damn look how fine he is to 3 other guys?
So then, what's the double standard with me? I still can say, "Oh, she's beautiful." Oh, I love
because
her
you're the
body.
minority. You're the minority in that text thread. If you got to see some ass, you got to see some ass sometimes. That's all.
You know what? You have proven my point. Thank you.
And just let you know, Rhodesia, we do have a separate text thread.
We sure do. That's where we really give it up.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm still in a message and I'm like, oh wow, okay, them booty cheeks hanging all the way out. Got it. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? I'm gonna start blowing y'all stuff up. Don't worry. No, you're not. All of a sudden, I'm gonna see all of y'all exit out the group message. Like,
sure will.
Eshaun has left the conversation.
You on a second?
You gonna send that text? It's gonna show up green. You going? All right, I got a game I want to play before we get out of here.
Okay.
And this is for you two. I am not involved in the game. I'm only giving you the words. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take these, and you're gonna get one word apiece. There is no right or wrong answer.
One word.
Yeah, I have
I'm
one
a
word.
lady.
No, I have one word, and then you're gonna describe it. I'm gonna give you guys insider wrestling terms. Okay, and you have to explain what this insider wrestling term is to somebody that does not watch wrestling.
I gotta drink some water.
Okay, and it cannot be about wrestling because they don't watch wrestling, so they won't even know what you're talking about. All right, I'm gonna start off easy. I'm gonna start easy, and then it may get a little bit harder. Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
Rhodesia.
All right, ladies first. Rhodesia, what is a shoot?
It is when you are speaking the truth.
Okay. Eshaun, what is a bump?
Falling all over your ass.
Okay. Rhodesia, what is a pop?
The reaction you get from the audience.
Eshaun, what is a job?
Working for the man every day and coming home tired.
No. I said there is no wrong answer. That's the wrong answer.
Well, hey, you lose, right? Did I win? I lost. Work for that man and came home tired. That's a loss right there.
Rhodesia, what is a clean finish?
Winning victoriously without any assistance with anyone else from anyone else.
Okay. Eshaun, what is a work shoot?
Quick question.
I'm lying and telling the truth at the same time.
Can I ask a question? Is work shoot different from shoot work?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
Very much.
Rhodesia, what is an angle?
A narrative. So we are trying to tell a story, and not even the full story, but just a little slice of this story that we want to pre-position the audience to set the table.
You've lost me already. I said I don't watch wrestling.
No, everything I said had nothing to do with wrestling. It was just an audience.
All right. You lost me on that one. Eshaun, what is heat?
Hate.
Rhodesia, what is a no-sell?
what Kendrick did after Family Matters.
Yo.
We out on that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's probably the best way. I had like 2 more, but we won't top that. We won't top that. Y'all did a good job. Hey, shout out to y'all. That was good.
That was fun.
That was good. That was good. What else y'all got? I'm done. I ain't got nothing else really. I could have a lot more, but I do have something else I want to ask. So MJF came out and he, I think it was Sports Illustrated, and he said that he is already a Hall of Famer. If the Hall of Fame, Wrestling Hall of Fame was a legit thing, because wrestling was a legit sport, if MJF retired this year, would he be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No. It's just not enough time.
Hell no.
Nope.
Hell no.
I would say yes.
No, not first ballot. Hell no.
I would say yes. What he's done for AEW, I would say yes, because I'm grading on a scale. I'm not grading on a WWE Hall of Fame. I'm grading on a Wrestling Hall of Fame. If I think about the impact he's done in the industry,
the impact of what? Of seeing, videos on YouTube with like 200 people in the arena, or negative buy rates, or declining
negative buy rates.
Like it's like, wow. What do you do for him? Let me know, because last time I checked, we talking about NXT getting better ratings than AEW on the average the past 9 days. What are we talking about? What did he do? What did he do?
That is ridiculous. I think that he was able to get himself over in a way where, hell, we saw where were they at? They were, don't get me lying, I don't think it was Mania. It may have been Mania, where the crowd was chanting MJF and Triple H was talking.
It was yeah.
That's a big deal. Look about his title run that he had. Yeah, it got bad at the end, but I think because he's been gone for a while, we forget just what he's done for AEW and who he is as a character. Like, I know he's on tonight. I think he kicked the show off. I'll be interested to see what the ratings are for that segment and then what it is for the rest of the show.
I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face for someone who built a long career of excellence and have done a lot in multiple places, to say that somebody's so new in the business who hasn't accomplished as much in their own promotion, and he's a first. I'm not saying he ain't in the future one. I absolutely think so. I think definitely, like, he ain't even got a touch. One thing I like about and appreciate about, and I know you're about to go in a minute, we need to wrap up, is that there's a narrative that you got to go to WWE in order to be a big wrestling star, right? That's where you got to go. He's a big star in the wrestling business, and he hasn't been there. And I don't think he needs to go there. Like, if he signs a 15-year contract with AEW, right? Like, I think that he could, at the end of his career, he definitely would be a Hall of Famer. Because at that point, he probably would have had how many numerous, great promos and matches, right? Hopefully, there's some good storylines in there as well, right? But he definitely, a little bit longer in the business, can be a first ballot. But you got guys who's been doing it for, a decade plus, right? And you mean tell me, like, all their accolades, this one dude who's been doing it for a couple of years is just going to shoot over them? Like, that's tough to say. I think that's a slap in the face to people who's done it for a little bit longer.
I 100% agree. First ballot. Now, we need to fill this Hall of Fame up this year. Hey, you can introduce them into it. But just off of GP, you have not been in the wrestling business long enough to become first ballot Hall of Famer if your career were to end today. Now, I'm a hypocrite because I believe Biggie is one of the greatest rappers of all times. And how many albums did he have before he died? But point is, as far as a Hall of Famer, no. Because that is disrespectful to everybody else who's put in so much more time.
Y'all know, I think Diddy has something to do with Big's death now.
Well, it's hard not to believe it now. It's hard not to believe that.
I think Diddy had a lot to do with everything that's wrong in the world. Like, to be honest with you, man, I think that Diddy's one of the worst people like on the planet right now. I think he's a pure evil man. I hope whatever. Actually, I don't want to say too much, man. I don't want nobody to come look at me. He's a horrible man.
Blowing your car up in the driveway. Yeah, that's why I keep my stuff in the garage.
I got to get these kids to high school. But hey, man, Diddy, let me tell you something. When these kids get out of high school, man, I'm gonna give it up. I'm gonna give it up, man. But you just not a nice man. You need to change your life and repent.
Last thing for me, I haven't started watching the Who Killed WCW show that's on Vice, partly because I don't have Vice, so I got to pull it up on maybe YouTube or something like that. But there was a quote that was going around social media today from Bret Hart where Bret says Hulk Hogan was basically the puppet master to Eric Bischoff, and Eric Bischoff, he was just a prop. That's what killed WCW.
Which part? That Eric was just a Muppet, or that Bret was the actual one running it?
BOFUM, both of them. No, he said Hogan.
Got it. Oh, Hogan. Okay, I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
and then he said, "Fuck Goldberg." He said that too.
Let's go.
Word.
He didn't say that, but he didn't say that. But I'm sure he felt it. So, what's your guys' thoughts about Hogan being the one that killed WCW?
That's fine. Any amount of second. Let me stop. Hold on. I'm trying to have a pure heart now.
That's fine.
I'm trying to have a pure heart here. I mean, that sounds legit, right? I mean, he had leverage to be able to write the checkbook there if he wanted to. Am I right? I mean, I wasn't watching WCW, so I don't know anything about it. The first time I saw WCW was when Shane showed up there after they were bought by WWE. And that's when I still thought that all of that was, I wasn't smartened up. I thought that was like a whole legit thing. So that's the first time I've ever really seen WCW outside of watching it with my brother when I was a really young kid, but I have no memories really from that.
You know what, man? I like Eric Bischoff's podcast. Did we meet him at the StarCraft? We didn't meet him, right? We just sat next to him at the bar or something, right?
Yeah, no.
I don't think we even talked to him.
I mean, well, yeah, I spoke to him one time. It wasn't like, I think we were in the elevator one time and I said something to him. But yeah, it wasn't like a long conversation.
Hey, real quick before I get to Eric Bischoff. Hey, you remember when we were standing in the elevator at StarCast and I didn't know who the Barbarian was?
Yes.
I remember this big old man standing next to us, right? I'm like, here's the thing. Here's what I thought. I'm like, damn, this man smells good. I wonder what he wearing.
Aww.
I had no idea he was a Barbarian. But back to Eric Bischoff. I think when I listen to Eric Bischoff talk and he goes in on Tony Khan the way he goes in on Tony Khan, I kind of feel like some of that venom comes from the fact that he feels like Tony's making the same mistakes that he made. Which is poor leadership,
making the same mistakes, or maybe
poor leadership and bad creative. Because Eric wants to come on there and he wants to talk about how bad the creative is on AEW. And brother, yours weren't any better, man. It was creative mishap after creative mishap because there were so many creative mishaps, because so many storylines didn't play out the way they should have. Kind of really put the hanker on WCW. So we talk about if Hulk Hogan was the reason. If Hulk Hogan was the reason, it's because Eric Bischoff allowed Hulk Hogan to be the reason, because at the end of the day, he was the leader. And we can talk about how, if you read the book, there's a lot of corporate entities like pulling strings along the case, but he still was the head of that industry because he was so hands off on creative and he deferred so much of that stuff to someone else. And at the end of the day, you can only defer and not get the results for so long. Like to me, he was the head of that snake. Like he should have put some things in place to kind of get that thing turned around. And I think in a lot of ways for him to go off on Tony as much as he goes off on it, I think it's like calling the kettle black, because that man didn't do any favors for WCW, in my personal opinion. The creative, especially the leadership piece. There was so much anarchy that you would hear about in WCW. Like, man, like the anarchy you heard in WCW doesn't even, it's nothing. It's like the AEW stuff is anything compared to WCW stuff. And Eric Bischoff is the one talking like, oh, Tony needs to be like, man, dude, what were you doing back in the day when all these things were happening? What were you doing? Like, right? If you were being a leader, if you were being a boss, like, right, you can try to fire Raven. That's cool. But what about all the other shenanigans that was happening? So for me, I don't know who killed WCW. Actually, I do need to read this book I got. One of the dudes, I forget his name, wrote a novel around it. That's on my bucket list for this year. But I think he definitely had a big part of it because he just was a bad leader.
Yeah, I don't think Hogan killed him. Just because Hogan was also part of the biggest thing in WCW history. It wasn't Hogan. It was a combination, and of course, what killed him at the end of the day was they lost TV. But say if we were talking like, hey, the product's still on TV, but you're getting smoked by WWE every single week, it was the creative. Vince Russo didn't help.
Nope.
That was a cluster F. Thunder.
He really needed Vince.
Yeah, wasn't the best.
Or McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't Vince Russo go work for WWE after that?
No, before. I don't think he went back.
Yeah, I thought he did.
He never. No. Like, of course, you know, Vince Russo was the head writer for Vince, like, right? But and so something happened with the money, and he dates or something like that. Vince went to WCW. Thought he was going to turn it around, and somehow he made the product worse, right? So then they brought Eric Bischoff back, and then it got even worse. This is why I get on AEW so much, man. I don't want to see them go down the same path that WCW did. Right? When
and
you
that's
see like
the thing.
these,
and that's the thing, E. And when you watch, I look at NXT and saw through proper creative how they turn. I thought 2.0 was the worst thing I had ever seen wrestling wise. I thought it was a mockery of what we knew with Black and Gold. I thought it was way goofy. I thought they said, all right, what made Black and Gold so good? We're going to do the opposite.
The complete opposite.
That's what it felt like to me.
That's what they did, yeah.
Outside of, hey, let's still get some characters that I know when they're ready, we can move to main roster with minimum character change. I think that was a positive out of 2.0. Because you look at who came from 2.0, we got some ballers. Carmelo, Bron Breakker, Tiffany Stratton, right? We got some ballers, but the actual show itself, I thought it was horrendous. But now you look at NXT now, and I'm really high on NXT. And that's to your point, E, of why I get so upset with AEW, and they turn a blind eye. Like Tony Khan made a comment a couple weeks ago, they changed something, and he said they changed it due to fan reception of it. The fan response was, okay, this is what it is, so he changed it. Then they asked him on the conference call right before Double or Nothing about, I think, like ticket sales and the online perception of AEW, and he dismissed it. He was like, there's gonna be negativity, and we talked about it on last week's show or the last pod. They've done more in 5 years than any other promotion in American wrestling history. Can never take that from them. They're doing great stuff, but you can't pick and choose when to pay attention. You shared a video earlier to us today where you see Ospreay coming out and almost the entire hard cam side is empty in terms of attendance. And that's because of the creative. Like, people aren't as hot as they need to be or as hot as they can be. You look at that roster and there's no way in the world they should ever wrestle under 3,000 people in attendance. Ever.
It's crazy.
And they do. So that's why we harped on so much about AEW. We just wanted them to be better. Of course, I still want them to be better. But until they figure out, hey, we got to get this creative under control. We got to slow down a bit. And we have to know that stories and stars is what people tune in for, along with the wrestling. I think they're going to be in the same boat for a while. And that same boat is still incredible pay-per-views, fantastic matches weekly, but a show that you can miss if you're not only just about the in-ring action.
Yep.
So, y'all about done? Y'all finished or y'all done? We out here?
I have like 6 things over here, but it's already late, so.
No, rapid fire them. What you got? Rapid fire them.
Yay or nay supporting Ospreay in his sabbatical for a week?
Oh my God.
Yay or nay? Yay or nay? You support it or not?
Yay.
He said that's not true. So nay.
Because a sabbatical is more than 1 week.
Right, exactly.
That's why.
Yep. Okay.
My man's gonna be back on Dynamite Wednesday
next week. Yep.
And they talking about a sabbatical. Like,
okay.
And Aldo Montoya, I love me some Justin Incredible back in ECW days, but miss me with you worked 30 days straight on a WWE tour. I get it.
Yeah.
Aldo Montoya. But if you want to act like your in-ring style was the same in WWE as Ospreay's is now, buddy, you got another thing coming. Let's not do that. Yes, wrestling 30 days straight is hellacious on the body. I'm not discounting that. But that wasn't the time to try to put yourself over because Ospreay missed one show. Get out of here.
Alrighty. Yay or nay? Are you there for a Wendy Chu new Nightmare gimmick? From what we can see.
Sure.
I loved her as a face, but they're top heavy with the face. So yeah, I'm here for it.
You couldn't go too far with a Sleepy Time gimmick, man. Let's you know they had to grow and morph into something else.
I liked it.
I was like, she's always asleep though.
Yeah, you always. Where we going with this? Yeah, let's
all
move
right.
on.
So I
to
guess
else.
yay then.
I go with yay. Chuck Taylor, ankle injury. That's what it was. I thought it was something else that is going to probably have him end his career. But it's the ankle. So I don't know like how bad an ankle can be for your career to be over. So that maybe it's a work. Is that a work or shoot? I actually don't know how I'm gonna rapid fire this one.
It's real. And I was worried because I thought you were going to say yay or nay to Chucky T not being a wrestle again. I was like, damn, that's
oh my God, come on. I would never do anything like that.
I thought you was about to say that.
No. That's heartless. Oh.
This is your segment.
I'm interested in what kind of injury he has because I mean, god dang, man, like Kerry Von Erich was wrestling with no foot. Like, what's gonna keep him?
I don't know what that is, but that sounded funny. So
well, that's not funny, and he's dead. So
yeah,
you said wrestling without a foot.
Yeah, he didn't have a foot, but I don't know how to make it a joke.
It's how he said it. It's not funny that he didn't have a foot, but that he was wrestling without a foot. I'm not even about to go there with y'all.
Yeah, let's move on before we get canceled.
On the injury side, so do you think Asuka's going to be the same when she gets back after this knee injury?
Shout out to Asuka, man. We love Asuka. Yeah, she's got a knee injury and she had surgery. I think she's gonna be the same. Yes. I don't know how long she'll be out for though, but she'll be fine. Once again, like with wrestling, you can work around injuries. She's not a high flyer. She's good there. It just sucks. Like you hate to see anybody get hurt, but damage control
should be back.
I think all three of them have been hurt at one point, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sucks.
So 2 more here.
Or 4.
What's your thoughts on besides what the f? Tony Khan not being the person in control of Ricky Starks being on TV.
Man,
I mean.
I saw that quote and I was like, and that's the reason why I'm not watching Dynamite Live no more. That was some of the dumbest shit. My man said, I would love to have Ricky Starks back on TV. Then book him to be on TV, Tony Khan.
I could quote it if you want me to.
Yeah, quote
I have it here.
Who hasn't heard.
I have it here. It says, I think Ricky Starks is tremendous. I'd love to get him involved and back in AEW anytime. He's been a huge part of what we've done here for about 4 out of 5 years. Tons of respect. I thought you made those decisions, Tony. Guess not.
I mean, obviously he makes those decisions right. I kind of feel like there's what he's being respectful. Like, look, like Ricky ain't gonna be back. I'm not pushing him. So unless he signs back, I can get him back on TV, and then I push him again. I could be wrong. I mean, he could just be like maybe he doesn't. He has a split personality. Maybe he doesn't know that he actually writes and books the show, and he's head of creative. He may not know that, but I'm reading between the lines. Like, yo, like, look, I don't think Ricky's gonna be around for much longer. And until I get him under contract and back he said back, right? Like, let's try to get him back under AEW and on a long-term deal.
AEW, yep.
I'm not pushing it, which would make sense, right? Because Ricky Starks has going on and said, like, they asked him, like, hey, when is your contract up? He's like, yo, can't I keep certain things to me? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I would do though? Then you say, yeah, we're looking forward to having Ricky Starks back on TV as soon as we have a story for him, or as soon as we find, like, don't be so disingenuous.
But that's so if he ain't coming back, then how you gonna say I'm looking forward to putting him on TV? He ain't coming back.
You can't come out here and tell us.
I would love to have I would love to have Ricky back, but he ain't gonna be back.
But you can't say that either, though. Like,
he ain't gonna say, like, out of respect. Like, I'm not gonna let people know that he ain't coming back.
I'm sorry.
But,
so the answer to that is absolute nay.
Nay.
Yay.
No, mine was what the f.
Okay, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right, 2 more. 2 more. Yes. I think I said 2 more last time. This one just quick. Do you think why it got pushed back? We got the fight of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson scheduled for July 20th pushed back. You think it's because no sales, no interest? Any thoughts? Someone
No,
not ready, or is it Tyson?
Mike-
being
what-
Didn't that
unhealthy?
man like collapse or something?
Yeah, that's why he had the
Yeah,
ulcer
he
on the
He had
plane.
an ulcer or something.
Okay.
Flared up, and his body's not right, so they had to. They had to do that. And
So
allegedly,
that
some people are saying like there's more health issues with
Mhm.
Tyson.
Yeah,
But
that man
they're
like
supposed to announce I
65
think
years
Friday.
old.
Yeah, they're supposed to announce
Yeah.
Friday when the new
Okay.
match is. I'm gonna watch. If Tyson don't get him up out of there in 1.5 rounds, it's
Yeah.
gonna be sad to watch.
hmm And I'll end it here, and this will be my last thing out for the show. Do you want to see this in the Octagon this Sunday at Battlegrounds live at the UFC arena in Vegas? Lola Vice versus Shayna Baszler. Think it's fitting. I think that this is, you got two people coming out of MMA. I feel like this would be a wonderful way to bridge the gap, or I don't even call it a gap, but bridge the two styles of fighting entertainment. I say yay, put them in the Octagon.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But, Shayna whooped that ass, though, man. Like, you think
Unless
you
Lola
want to talk
start
about
jiggling
women?
it, and then Shayna might be like, okay,
Hell yeah,
she get
wiggles.
distracted. You know, Shayna
I know-
loves to see the
I
jiggles.
know the question was
Shayna know when
Shayna-
she wants to jiggle. But Shayna,
I know-
Shayna about business when it comes to fighting.
Shoot, let
She'll
me explain
get
something to you.
that thing later. She'll
That
get
could be
thing
in the
later.
ring. It could be in a backlot parking brawl. It can be backstage. Wherever Lola Vice is, I'm here for it. But yes, absolutely, it'd be fantastic to put that in the Octagon. But Lola the GOAT. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh God, okay.
You can
We're
book
not doing that here. We're not
She's
doing
a
that
first
here.
ballot Hall of Famer. Jada Parker's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Natalia is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So F all y'all who be trashing on Natalia.
I just want Natty to be able to go wrestle and not have to teach.
Yep.
I know she loves teaching,
Mhm.
but I did like her and Kiana James. Boy, Kiana James. Oof. I am so happy that I thought she had an impressive showing. But if you watch her face, go back, everybody, if you did not pay attention. She's about to cut her backstage promo, and you could see her heart jumping out of her chest, waiting to talk. And once she got into character, she was good. She hit her promo, fantastic. She got out there, and I saw somebody try to like shit on her online about, look, no reaction. It's her first match. What would you expect her to do? Like, I hate people like that. But the
They don't
match was
know her.
good with Natty. But go back and watch just how she looked. But I'm happy for her. Like I said, I'm high on her. I'm surprised she was one of the ones that got drafted. But I would love for Natty to just go on a run. And Natty is like where Dolph was. Like, Natty is never going to be more than like kind of what she is. But she is so helpful to the women. But I would love for her to go on like a 3-month run of just working matches. Like at her
People
level,
will be blown away.
they
People
would be like,
what
Natty
the
is
heck?
fantastic. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's, she'll get one out of every like 10 matches where she gets to work. Her last one against Io was fantastic, but then they put her back in here with a lot of the rookies. Oh, last thing, Karrion Kross. I told you. Karrion Kross told you. No, one more week. Just another week. He told Xavier Woods, man, you better leave. Better leave this guy. He don't want you to prosper. He don't want you to succeed. Y'all ratings are typically the lowest quarter hours in Raw. Come on to the dark side. What you think about that, man?
I refuse to end the segment on Karrion Kross. Let's end the show.
Damn.
I could talk about Karrion Kross. Now, listen, I loved him when he was bald. I love a
I'm
bald
press
man.
leave.
But
Leave.
I'm kind of
press-
liking this new
I'm
one.
leave studio.
See, so I can objectify man, and now y'all want to leave, right? But again, whatever.
But no, if you talk about Karrion, we got to talk about Scarlett too. But I don't care what y'all say, man. Y'all hating on Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is that dude. I said it.
Hey, tell a friend about our podcast.
Yes.
Hey,
please,
tell a friend to tell a friend.
please.
Tell a family member. 3 the hard
We
way.
need-
Y'all know how we give it up.
We need more freaks. Everybody should want to be a freak, right?
Ain't that the truth? Especially you grown too, man.
Yeah.
And how,
Freak
how,
with us.
how y'all become VIP
It's
freaks?
fun.
You gotta like hit that follow button on whatever audio format you are listening to us on right now. We are also on YouTube at That's Freaking Wrestling. if you're watching this on X. Shout out to everybody that has retweeted us tonight. Shout out
Thank
to
you.
Backstage Brawl. Shout out to Wole.
Thank
Shout out
you.
to Brit to the Knee. Shout out to
Gang,
Zaria.
gang.
Shout out to the Black Guy Wrestling Podcast.
Let's go.
Shout out to Gresh. Let me see if I've missed anybody because I appreciate every single one of y'all. So I'm gonna go through and I'm about to look right now and see if I missed anybody. Who else retweeted us?
Rhodesia Pool.
Look at you. Nice job. Shout out
Them all
to
government
True
names.
God. Shout out to
What up?
Lakers 24-25 champs.
What up, though?
Man, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that because you need to probably change your Twitter handle. We need to talk wrestling, Lakers,
I do like JJ Redick might be their future coach. Find it very interesting that the star player and the coach is doing a podcast together. Really amazing. But hey, guys, come freak with us every Thursday and every Sunday, right? I think I'm gonna
It's
turn
kinda
into
Wednesday.
a Jey Uso, man. Like, come freak with us.
Wait, hold
Come
on.
freak with us.
We got into this last time.
Every
It's
freaking
Wednesday.
day and
It's
every
Wednesday.
freaking night.
and
no,
Sunday.
it's going
live
to
is
drop.
Wednesdays and Sundays.
It's
Yes,
dropping
live.
It's
It's
dropping on
Wednesdays and
live.
Sundays.
Y'all want the
Monday and
live
Thursday.
freak? Y'all want the live freakness, y'all? Just listen. Listen to us
Oh,
on
yo,
Wednesday.
I'm putting that on the
8:30
I'm putting it on the
Eastern.
board.
Okay.
Every
Sundays.
freaking day, every freaking
All
night.
right. It is now time to
I
go.
wanna
We will
freaking
holler at
party,
y'all
baby,
Sunday.
every
We're gonna break down
way.
SmackDown
every
and
freaking day.
we'll be-
every freaking
we'll be
night.
recording before NXT. So we'll talk about NXT on next Wednesday's show.
Ooh, yay!
Boy.
It was